parlo amb un escriptor que durant una època va ser el més famós del món, tot i que ell diu que per motius erronis. L'Ayatollah Khomeini va llançar una fàtua contra Salman Rushdie, el va condemnar a mort després de la publicació dels versos satànics. L'escriptor en parla com d'una malaltia que va patir fa més de 27 anys i de la que ja en fa més de 16 que es va recuperar. De fet, ell fa una vida normal i diu que no vol parlar més del tema. Del que sí que vol parlar és de la seva darrera novel·la, 2 anys, 8 mesos i 28 nits. El títol és una referència clara a les 1001 nits, i és que el llibre està ple de fantasia i també de contes. A més, és el temps que dura una mena d'enfrontament entre el bé i el mal, entre la llum i la foscor, que ell situa a Nova York. Rushdie diu que tenia ganes de passar-s'ho bé escrivint aquest llibre. Segurament per això li ha quedat una novel·la divertida, excèntrica i un punt boja.
The book has two almost contradictory moods, you know. One is that, yes, it's quite satirical about the present, and some of that satire is very black, you know, and I guess that's what I think, you know. But the book, strangely, towards its later stages, moved into a much more optimistic frame of mind. And I think it partly has to do with the fact that I thought it's so easy right now to write a book in which, you know, everything's horrible, and then it gets worse, and then it ends badly. You know? I mean, you know, you turn on the news, you read the newspapers, etc. It's very easy to think of that kind of scenario, you know. And I thought, for that reason, it's not interesting to do it. I was thinking about contemporary literature, and I was thinking how little joy there is, you know, how little people write about beauty and joy, happiness and love, you know. People seem to write all the time about destruction and hatred and et cetera, and I mean, I see why they do it, you know, but I wanted there to be this dimension also. And so I thought, what else can I imagine? You know, how else can I imagine that things might go? Because one of the things that you really learn from the study of history, that was my subject at university, you know, one of the things you really learn is that history is not on a railway track. You know, it's not set. It's not inevitable. You know, it doesn't have to go along the railway track. It's very unpredictable. You know, it makes sudden changes and ends up in very unexpected places. You know, just to give an example, if in the beginning of 1989, if I had said to you, the Soviet Union will not exist at Christmas time, you know, it would have seemed insane, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, but that's what happened, you know. And so that's what I mean. Things can change radically at very high speed, particularly now in this age we live in, where everything seems to move at such high speed. You know, that when change comes, it comes very, very fast.
And do you think we should be optimistic?
I think we don't have to be. I think we don't have to be fatalistic. Okay. I think that's the point. You know, we don't have to think that the inevitable collapse of society is going to take place, because it's not like that. History is not like that. And so I just thought, let me try and imagine something else. And I mean, the book is not ludicrously optimistic. I mean, it suggests that it might be 1,000 years before the human beings are in a better place. But it does also suggest that maybe a better place is still possible.
In the book, there is a fight, I think I can say a fight between realism and superstition. Yeah. And superstition being religion.
Yeah. I'm not in favor of religion.
That's not a big surprise.
That's not a big surprise.
But you need to say it in your books.
Well, what I think is that when I was young, you know, I'm a child of the 60s. You know, I mean, I was 21 in 1968. So I'm a kind of 68 ans. You know? And one of the things about the 60s is that religion was surprisingly absent. You know, that nobody thought about it. Nobody talked about it. The idea that it would return to the center of the stage and begin to orchestrate and define the history of the time, you know, would have seemed absolutely ludicrous if somebody had said that to me when I was 21 years old, you know, and yet that's what happened. And so it feels to me as if the entire world that I had no time for and that I thought was redundant and done for, came back and enormously damaged the way of life that I care about, which is a sort of, to put it at its briefest, is a sort of open, tolerant society. And so then you can't avoid writing about it. I mean, the funny thing is, I don't care about religion. I would very, very much like to never write about religion, but I was forced to do it because it forced its way into the middle of the room. And if you're trying to write about the room,
you can't pretend it's not there.
You can't pretend that that's not sitting in the middle of the room. So I find that I've quite frequently had to deal with that subject.
Which doesn't mean that you have to be nice with that subject.
It doesn't mean you have to be nice about it, no. Because my general feeling about it is not nice. My general feeling is that the world was heading in a much more progressive direction and was then derailed, or deflected into this much more medievalist, repressive, oppressive context, which we now all have to handle and deal with. So, yeah, but I mean, I'm really hoping, in fact, I've almost ordered myself that the next book I write will not have anything to do with religion.
Okay.
Because I want to try and prove to myself that I can write a book about something else. So.